Everybody's phone is on?
He's on mute.
Something in the background.
There's a crackling sound in the background. There you go. Yeah. Okay, thank you. This meeting is now called to order at 2:29. Today is the 15th of June. We are here as Board of Trustees for the Guahan Academy Charter School regular board meeting. I will proceed to call.
Recording in progress.
I will do a roll call. Trustee Havelock,
I'm here.
Trustee Giza,
Here.
Trustee Lourdes,
Present.
thank you, Trustee Tanatongo,
Present.
Trustee Mifeo Valles. We all have a quorum. Thank you very much. Have you read the minutes of May 19? Because I need a motion to approve the minutes of May 19, 2022.
I move, Madam Chair, that we approve the minutes of May 19, 2022.
Any second?
I second that.
Thank you, Trustee Havelock. Moved by Trustee Tanatongo to accept the minutes of May 19, 2022, seconded by Trustee Havelock. Thank you very much. Calendar, CO, can you go ahead and take it away? National Charter School Conference. CO, you're next.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just trying to open up yes. So we're on calendar National Charter School Conference, which will be held on June 19, 22. Attendees will be Madam Faye Ovales and Trustee Lou San Nicolas and myself, and we will see each other there. And we're hoping for the best, that we would like absorb everything that we could learn and apply it and bring back to you what we have experienced and learned. For summer classes,
July 15.
Originally, the summer classes was supposed to begin on June 13 and end July 22, which is a total of 28 instructional days. I have informed you that due to the a little mishap regarding the funding, we had to postpone it, but it resumed this morning. So thank you to everyone, the summer team who did everything. With the help of the business office in compiling all the employee requirements for the service agreements, and it was approved and signed by Mr. Ike Santos. Special mention for Miss Rosie, who helped out and make sure, as always, that they somehow look into our documentation. School year 22-23 pre-service training, it begins on August 1st to 9th with the NIFD training. Originally, the 58,000 proposal or quote that they gave went down to 28,000 because we're just asking them to train our DI teachers on topics that we are using, because we're transferring to the use of the RMT, which is the Reading Mastery Transformation. Just to update you that earlier this morning, I received an email, like a follow-up email from Christine, and she was like saying that the 28,000 is actually attached to the full implementation of 128,000. So I was kind of lost and informed Miss HA, or texted Miss HA, because I said I thought we are very clear with them that we don't need the full implementation because we have been using DI since 2013. So they said that they will give us another quote to include travel expenses. We will address, I already mentioned to Miss HA and the team who's been on Zoom meetings with them, just for clarification, why they were expecting to still attach it to the full implementation of 128,000. But just to address the concern or the issue right away, I said, please send us a revised code to include the travel expenses, their travel expenses, and not to attach it to the full implementation. And I clarified by email that the services that we need from them is just basically refresher for our new teachers, and that we're using RMT, thus we don't need their full training program on the Reading Mastery series, which is somehow going to be outdated. We originally submitted that under the, I believe, ESF2, right, Miss Jamie? However, the last time when I left Friday, Miss Jamie checked on Munis and it's still not moving forward. But so I requested Miss Badette to just get ready and prepare a purchase order in case, because this is a go and we need that refresher course from NIFD. So it's on standby. Miss Badette would be on standby to just prepare the last minute that they really need the payment or the PO. Then we will have to use local funds, just to inform you. But even before, in the 58,000, Miss Badette has allocated that amount. So bringing it down is definitely going to be, Miss Badette is prepared for it, right, Miss Badette? Can you please confirm?
She's not here.
She's not here.
Oh, she's not here. Okay, but yeah, that's how we did it.
So Anne, I have a question. The 28,000, does that include travel or that's separate from travel?
Separate from travel. They said it's a discounted rate because they were attaching it to the full implementation of 128,000. I don't want to go back to what happened because they've been meeting in Zoom. They've been having Zoom meetings since December, and that's when we discovered that we don't really need the full training from NIFD because it's just a refresher course. But right away, when I discovered through documentation that they were attaching it to the full implementation, I right away responded and clarified that we only need what the 5 days or the 4 days or the 2 different topics that we want them to train our teachers on. So she's preparing a new proposal or a code, ma'am. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can still
Yes,
hear.
ma'am.
Carry on.
Okay. So next would be the
First day of classes.
yes, building C. First day of classes is August 20. I think that's a typo. It should be August 10. And at the bottom there says it says early dismissal, tentative time 2 p.m. So the last week of classes, I sent out a conclusion letter to inform them that the administration is thinking of doing early dismissal. So we sent out a survey, both hard copy and electronic copy. And I just wanted to share with you the results of the survey just to see where the parents stand with the early dismissal of 2 p.m. And 67% of them agrees or is in favor of early dismissal. Especially for the elementary, 2 p.m. And
Yes.
before giving that time, 2 p.m., we have communicated with DPW to ask if it's possible. And they responded and said that if GDOE is going to keep the time of their schedule, their bell schedule, then they're good to pick our students up at 2 p.m.
Oh, that's good. Good news.
Yes. We just wanted to have a backup of like that we just didn't make decision of or considering early dismissal without the input and feedback of our families. So we sent out that survey and many responded right away. And they even have comments like, yes, because by the time they pick up their child at 3:30, they can go back to work anymore. So it will help and assist them when they pick up early because they can come out earlier to avoid traffic and then go back to work.
Okay.
I just need clarification.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
early dismissal is only for the first day of classes?
No, ma'am. The full school year.
For the whole school year? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Wait.
Old business.
Yes, ma'am. Next would be old business, federal grant, ESF2 ARP. May I ask Miss Jamie, do you have the updated Google Sheet where we stand?
Yes. Hold on.
Sure, she's so pretty.
I know, right?
It's like Korean lady with the curl.
I know, really.
Real quick, so that there's no.
Do you want me to share the screen or?
Should I just go by the percentages?
Yes, please. Just
Percentages.
Okay.
They sent a email report to the board on the detail, so we can go ahead and continue. Okay.
Okay. So for ESF2, out of the 2,075,882,000 budgeted for GACs, 70% of that has been total requisitions keyed in is 70%. Out of that, only 37% are pending purchase orders. And then 63% is converted to purchase orders. So the difference is 628,000 for ARP.
Miss Jamie, do you want to share with the board the extension they said on ARP?
I'm sorry, which one?
You know how they said that up to when do we have to?
For ESF2, the expiration is September 30th, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And then now for ARP, and ARP expires September 30th, 2023. Out of 4,061,749,000, 8% total requisitions keyed in. Out of that, 64% of that is pending purchase orders. 50% are converted to purchase orders. So we have a difference of 3.7 million left to expend. Yes.
So input on Munis.
Yes.
Okay.
So what is the plan in terms of making sure that we don't return a penny out of that $3.7 million where the balance is right now? Mrs. Santiago,
Yes.
can you respond to that question?
Definitely, ma'am. So the week that I left, I asked Miss Jamie to input everything that we have because there's 3 different steps on Munis on how to just input it. And then I asked her to just get proposals or quote from the vendors, listed vendors, and the ones who can easily respond because we leave the procurement process with GDOE anyway. So it doesn't matter if whoever vendor she can get the quote from. As long as she gets the quote right away and attach it, then it could be released right away, and then that's when the process of procurement is done. So that's what I requested Miss Jamie to do. The first one who provides her with the quote is the first quote that she attaches so that she could release it and the procurement process could go.
Yeah,
That's just to speed up the process.
Yeah.
And for ARP, I did get a bunch of quotes this week, one of them being for the modular classroom. So I'll input that into Munis so that we can go through the procurement process. So
The modular classroom.
The modular-
the floor repair.
Floor repair. Okay, good. How much is that? So with that, you still 3.7 on the balance?
I don't think she has inputted yet because she just
Yeah,
got
okay.
the quote.
That's not including, okay.
Okay, but that needs to really get fixed as soon as, because we are moving those classrooms to the next facility that they're going to have, right? Can that, Ms. Tan, you're very familiar with the language of the not the SF because that's almost gone. 3.7 on our ARP. Can we program some of those monies for like the future classrooms?
Unfortunately,
Because
No,
2023, we want to be able to.
yeah, not for the future construction of classrooms, but
Not construction. I'm talking about things that we need, equipment.
oh, definitely, because 4 million, that's why there's 4 million. We actually received already 10 of the cafeteria benches that you saw.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
thought, yeah.
I anticipated that for the new school because we would have bigger.
Assuming we are 740 still on the next budget year, right? But
Yeah.
can we earmark and program some of those monies for an anticipated built new classroom we're gonna have and see what else we can provision out of the 3.7?
Equipment, everything for the equipment for the cafeteria, I made use and tried to somehow adhere to the goals of the ARP, which is to cleanliness and cleanliness of the classrooms and the meals. So with that, with having said that, I already included everything: the carts, the high, the very sturdy carts, the cooler. You know how
Yes.
in the plane where they put the trays and it's heated.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
cooler and everything. So I even ordered
You
that.
have one there. I don't know if it's working, but those trays would have to be always in there so the food, the meals of the kids are always warm.
Yes.
I think you have one there. It's a good brand. I used to have that brand when I had a catering too. But that's sitting there. I don't know if that's.
It's not working, ma'am. That's why I reordered.
Okay,
Like, I
exactly.
basically
Order the
got
same
extra.
exact brand because those are long term. Those have long life usage wise, right?
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
make sure
But,
it's the same.
actually, the ones we have right now are not NSF. The ones we have right now are not NSF certified. NSF certification is the one that means it's an ISO certification for equipment, specifically for food.
Kitchen equipment
So
and stuff like
everything
that.
that I asked Miss Jamie or included under ARP should be NSF certified.
Okay,
So we are going to replace all those.
just use use all your strategies in making use that those monies could be utilized for the time that for the years that we're not going to have money to buy or sustain that. If we're going to be breaking ground next year, obviously you have provision for a tent, for those tables, those chairs, etc.
Yes.
Worry less about where you're going to store it. The important thing is you earmark already those, so we'll be able to. But anyway, we'll get to that maybe another meeting. Anybody
Yes,
have
and
any
we
questions?
included-
Yes, go ahead, Trustee Lou.
Miss Lou.
Okay, so Mrs. Santiago, for the ESF2, we have up until September 30th of this year to spend all that money. What is being done to make sure that we spend every penny and not return any money, please? This is a very critical question because if we're asking for local funds and we appear before the legislature for funding for certain things, they will catch on to this, that we are returning X number of dollars. So please, I need to emphasize the importance that all that money that is the balance, whatever the balance is, be expended to meet the needs of the classroom teaching and learning. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So with ESF2, the reason why it seems like it's only 70% that we expended is because everything that we put are under budget, meaning DOE was able to find vendors who's gave a quote that is lower than actually what we inputted under ARP. And how they do it is because if you're below, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 90% already we expended on ESF2. So the balance or the difference of the money that it is not converted to PO is just because mostly everything I give a higher quote, like I estimated to make sure just so it will be covered. It's okay if they go under the allotted amount rather than I put too low and then to find out that the actual price is very high, especially during that time that we don't have shipment, they have to make. So I really made sure that I put like 20% more in the budget. The good thing about it is that just like as ESF1, when we have been approved for a certain amount that we only use. So basically, what they said is that as long as the items are within ESF1, ESF2, or ARP, because you're under budget, it can roll over. Just like how in ESF1, 15 MacBooks are only ordered, but because we're under budget, I re-entered or I asked them again, can we purchase more MacBooks, because it was not anticipated for the support staff. Even if it wasn't on ESF2, just because it was already in the budget and approved in ESF1, they allowed us to order more.
Ahead and do it,
Yeah.
So that's our option, just to make sure we can order more.
Yeah, that's-
And that's why
That's a very good trick.
Laboratory.
So does that mean that whatever is the balance on the ESF2, that balance will roll over for fiscal year 2023?
It's not technically roll over, but it seems that way because I can say that, I'm under budget on iPads. So can I order more iPads under using the funds? But because it was already allocated for iPads, we were approved in the ESF2. Even if it's not in ARP, we can order and they will use the funds from the.
So looking at that possible balance for the ESF2, can we continue to submit requisitions so we meet the deadline of September 30th and really use all that money? This is a very critical area, we're not going to be seeing any more money for a long time.
I'm thinking maybe we can. We're asking Miss Janie just to be very transparent. If she can't, if she needs help with inputting, then we'll find someone to assist her. just so that everything is inputted.
Okay.
And that's another thing that I'm looking at.
Okay, so you two will work on that, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Any more,
Trustee
ma'am?
San Nicolas, that's a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for all the notes and the reminders. So for the modular classrooms, it was mentioned already. We have the code, so Miss Jamie will do that. Next would be building C, D, E repairs and partitions.
We're gonna do
So
that.
as
Yes,
of,
ma'am.
I believe yesterday, Cortec already came to make the initial assessment because I emailed them the basic plan on building E by the LRC where they will have to partition and extend one room there for the principal's office, so that all administrators and will be in that area, which is more accessible to us in the main office, because right now where Mrs. HA is located is in the second floor, and for such a small school and when everything is busy, support staff and the faculty is like takes a while for us to reach out. And I was very upfront with Miss HA that we need her to be within our reach so that it's faster. And being the head of academics, there's a smooth flow of communication because there are times that she's having a meeting, she's on the phone, she can't answer the phone, the radio is off, then I experienced that I have to run and make sure I have to climb those stairs up just to and it delays the process, and especially when urgent matters arise. Her being in the ground floor would help. That way, Mr. Mafnas too don't have to climb up the stairs back and forth. So the current office of Miss HA in the second floor will be the office of the DI coordinator and the curriculum incoming curriculum coordinator. And then the room next to that, because it holds all the PE physical equipment, that will be the DI room, book room. That way, monitoring of the inventory of our books is monitored by the DI coordinator and the curriculum. They don't have to travel.
Consolidation of operating the DI. Okay, what's next?
In the partitions, because the budget that was allocated is so high, I included also somehow a partition in the cafeteria where the discipline office is at right now, just a work area for the Chamorro teachers. And then the old book room upstairs, because there's a door that opens directly to the boys' bathroom. I moved Mr. Hamley, our PE and athletic director, to that room, and also the equipment, all the PE equipment there.
Nice.
That's good.
Yes.
That's nice. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And also we included the power source of the 2 containers in there so that it would be Cortec, because it's their building anyway. So it will be, now it's part of their scope. Then they know where and exactly where to tap the power source of the 2 containers, the 2 new containers.
Okay.
Today the footing and installation was already completed, according to Ms. Badet, and she showed me. So the next step is to tap on the power source for the AC, the outlets, and the lights.
Okay, would that be on us, right? Because that's our own container. So it's only the power source that would have to be network or connected to the to Gore-Tech thing, right?
Yes, ma'am. Which
Okay.
is a part of the scope of work under the 30,000 because I already had it
Okay, you don't need to have.
pre-assessed. We have a lot of 30,000 is enough for all those small projects.
Yeah.
And to also install a mop sink, portable mop sink in the cafeteria because as part of the requirements, we cannot use the hand washing and the dishwashing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you have hot water there as well?
Yes,
have
we
hot
do.
water?
Yes,
Okay, good.
ma'am. It's a
Just to make
required. It's a requirement to have hot water.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
so how about the, okay, I have to jump. What is your Guam Fire Department inspection? How is it coming along?
This one is not so. I have to be very honest. We have not received the initial assessment from Mr. Mafnes, but we followed up with him. He's just overwhelmed with the academics. But I'm thinking that if it's too much for him, if you don't mind, I can get it back from him, and then it would
Yeah,
be
because
faster. It's a
what's your
recommendation.
population on the elementary? You have to consider the population of your elementary and then only have your principal not doing the elementary, the day-to-day, and then you also have him engaged in all the facility issue. So I think you have to have a dedicated person, just somebody really die hard and knowledgeable of how to
I don't.
use the facility operate.
I recommend that you rethink that, reconsider that, Mrs. Santiago. This is an assignment that you've given him, and I believe it's all about accountability. I feel that you need to get I would like to see a written report from those inspections, but this is an assignment, and he has to carry them out.
Okay.
The inspection was before Mr. Mafna's time, and it is the delay is from Cortex side. It's really not on
Can't blame
us.
him, yeah.
So Mr. Mafnas is now tasked with even issues small and big with the campus, and that's taking him away from the actual work as a dean or rather a principal of elementary. That's why I start looking into what we can do to kind of like alleviate him from that, because there's nobody else in charge of the overall facility maintenance but Mr. Mafnas. So he's burdened with small, big, and medium issues here, so which is very unfair, I think, for
And
him.
I think one of it is also he's not aware of the history of where we started, why we got into this, and that now he has to do the research again, and we have to remind him, oh, this is what happened, things like that. So it's taking a while for him to catch up, and he doesn't wanna be it's like he cannot perform because he feels that I have to really look into the details. He's very being very meticulous. Yeah. So another solution to that is rather than trying to get it from him, because previously it's the main office, the central office, who really does that. And we have assistants, especially now that we know how to go about it. We can just go straight to Cortec. It's their building. We just have to inform them. And we know how to procure. We follow the process of getting quotations and assistance. So an additional solution to that is when we were interviewing custodians, we came across an applicant who has supervisory experience in construction. So he has like 10 people, and he's aware of like a maintenance and supervisor. So we were thinking of taking on that that
Already,
applicant.
already. This guy that she's talking about is to do the facilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
he's
we
aware,
can
like he can do like minor repairs. He's aware he can speak to Cortec and assign.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so Trustee Lou, knowing that now, because this Mr. Mafnas really get very engaged. The last time he was actually going around the building and cleaning up with the crew, which I think is over and beyond a call of his duty. But we really want him to focus on the elementary side because you have a bigger population, I think, versus the other grade level, correct? So just so that he doesn't miss or that he doesn't kind of like get overburdened by one, and he could really carry the job so well on especially on the maintenance on the facility side, but we don't want to burden him. So as soon as we can get somebody, so I think somebody that could just get direction from Mr. Mafnas and maybe report back to him what's going on, but somebody who would really do the hard work for him, not for him to do it himself.
Yeah.
Because that's not his main responsibility. But of course, in
It's just
absence
a
of
point of
somebody-
contact. Yeah.
yeah, the POC will be great. Because this fire issue has been sitting for the longest time,
I know.
and I don't understand why. And this is a Cortec issue because they don't allow us to fix anything if they are not engaged or they're not involved. But this is a citation.
I understand, but the tasks are important and they must be addressed. I mean,
But it's a Cortec
you know.
issue. We're on their time.
Yeah.
It's not us to fix because they don't want us to fix anything that is Cortex owned or property. So our hands are tied on this one.
I understand, Miss Blue, your main concern too, because it's you appointed him, and it's just like saying that before relinquishing him of the specific duties designated to him, he has to still deliver somehow at a certain point, which we are going to.
So Mrs. Santiago, maybe you need to just have a discussion with him and ask him what help does he need, and maybe within and among the faculty we can find someone that can be of assistance to him. So just have that candid conversation. What is it that he needs to address the situation?
Since you asked for that, we have like a talk with Mr. Mafnes, because we wanted to give all the support that we have, right, to do the research or basic research, because he wasn't here from the beginning. However, he expressed that he has strong belief on the chain of command. Therefore, he's having not difficulty, I forgot the word that he used, but he has high regard for the chain of command. Therefore, he sees that his immediate supervisor is Mrs. H.A. Therefore, anything, all the tasks that the board or I would ask him or designate him, it has to be through Miss H.A., then Miss H.A. to him. So, to me though, I respect that. So when we have meetings, it's the three of us who's aware. However, I think I have to be more clear to tell him that there are things that are urgent and that therefore it delays the process. And the fact that it went on for 4 years, there are instances there are certain areas that it has to be directly to him, addressed to him, rather than to go to H.
Yes. I know that we have suggested that he meets on a regular basis with Cortec. Is that happening? Is there partnership and communication with Cortec?
All in the chain of command.
There are tenants of Cortec. And like any tenancy arrangement, anything that the land or rather the the property owners, which in this case is Cortec, it's almost like we can't move, we can't do.
Them.
And they already warned us last time that if we do have work here at GAX that they are not aware that we did, that we will be penalized for it.
Oh my God.
So they're very strict on that. This is prior to Mr. Mafna's time. So it's just like they're very busy with their construction. So we are like not on the top list of to cure this deficiency with Guam Fire. And this is since 2021, is this? Ms. Burdette, when they came in?
But just to give you also initial report when Cortec representative and Mr. Mafnas was there, because I was able to be there for a moment. The main reason, according to Cortec, why they couldn't keep our buildings up to code is because when the fire alarm, you know how they have to be connected, it's originally just C and D. E was like just recently, and it has its own fire code. It's separate. But because it's an education, then they have to tap on to E to make sure that when the alarm goes off in building E, it will alarm C and D because it's a school. And the modular rooms. The code is called E code. And that's the part that they are saying that it's not under their coverage because the original C and D are linked, but to tap on and make sure that would be an additional expense on us to make sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Santiago.
Okay, let's move on. Trustee Liu, if you don't have any more questions. Trustees, any questions?
No, no more questions.
Thank you very much. Let's go proceed.
Accreditation
Okay.
and Doming Group on Thursdays during summer, because most of the faculty and staff the summer team are also members of the leadership team. Before I left, I asked Mr. Mafnas and Mrs. H.A. to make sure that we somehow continue the leadership meetings and send us the Zoom. So tomorrow morning, I already saw that they are going to meet, and Mr. Chargwalaf will be there tomorrow, 8:30. So that even during summer, they won't forget, and we're still in the process of reviewing all
The
the.
meeting continues.
So when the leadership team meetings meet, what assurance can we get that the leadership team members pass on the information to members within their team?
We do have, other than the agenda that they go off, we still have the documentation that they have to keep updating in Google Sheets, Google Docs. Therefore, they have to keep inputting all the discussions that they have. And then to make sure that whatever they decide or whatever they talked about will be disseminated to the members of the group. So they are like somehow summarizing and reviewing everything that we have already talked about. That way, when the school start, it's just like dissemination of the information, and there's clarity and direction already of what we talked about during the summer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ann. So, CCR report, did everybody get their copies from your email? This was done a week ago and was posted on our, is it Facebook? On our website,
On
sorry.
our website, yeah.
So, Trustee Liu, did you go through this?
I did.
Okay, any question or any
No,
comment?
I am, I'm
Okay,
very
as you
happy
know,
to see the
once you guys
data.
are done, once you guys are
data that
done with
was
the
done.
audit, the CCR report needs to be in the website as well as a copy issued to the OPA. That has been done. and haven't reported
Can I-
to OPA. The board have
Can I
to
get
go
a can I get a confirmation from the
Yeah,
trustee?
we need to get, I need a motion to accept the Guahan Academy centric report, CCR report as of fiscal year 2021. Motion to accept the CCR report. Trustee Avalak.
I second it.
No, nobody has.
I move.
Sorry, Ibla.
Yes, I do.
Moved by trustee
Yes.
Senatongo, seconded by trustee Ortiga. Any discussion, trustees, on the CCR report? Let's vote on accepting this. Aye.
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 Trustee Artiza? Aye. Thank you, trustees. This is well done. Single-handedly, I think our CEO had put this together on time and published this on time. If it's just not on the time constraint, we could have just, looked into this, but nothing is impossible with the CEO. She got this report on time right after we received our last 2021 audit, right? And this is the overall summary of what we did
For 2021.
and a requirement to publish our CCR after our audit. Thank you, Ms. Ann. Well done. Thank you. And thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Jet. Thank you for everybody that helped putting this together.
Yeah.
So you see, everything that we're having now is on time and submitted on time. So we're really good. Okay, thank you for the CCR report. GDOE Federal Audit and Equipment, USDO, this is the surprise visit. Okay, I like the surprise. Any report on this?
I just wanted to give you an update, although I mentioned this verbally. When we had our 8th grade promotion at Nico, I was informed that was, I believe, was a Thursday a Thursday. But on a Friday, when we came back, I have learned from Mr. Mafnes that they did make a surprise visit. I say it a surprise because it was not, we were not informed by DOE that they're gonna visit. Actually, when Mr. Arquisa was saying that USDOE is already here, I reached out to Shannon, our officer, and asked, do you know if they have a scheduled visit to the charter schools? And she said that as of today, that that week there's none. Only because I wanted to know, because that week is a busy week. We have promotions every single day, and that's the last week of summer. At least we are prepared, and to make sure that we can somehow make sure that we're ready when they are arrived. Although we're always ready because our inventory and audit from GDO is finished.
Okay, on the string of that email, if I may interrupt, on the string of that email that you received from Shannon, they were saying that we will let you know. We will let you know if they're coming your way.
Yes,
So,
but there's no it could be just right away, no advance, no heads up, because
Yeah,
they
that's
said,
fine. But what I'm saying is, when that happened on our campus, nobody was alerted that they were actually here to see and look at what they're doing. You were busy having a graduation ceremony. Who was here to attend to them? And that's
Mr.
not right.
Mafnes. Mr. Mafnes apparently
Mr. Mafnes reported this after the fact. Thank God he's here. But and thank God we're always ready. We're always audit ready. You see, but those things were reported day after.
Yes.
So,
Yes, my,
there's a little bit of concern on my side. I could ask the trustees, why this sort of like line of responsibility and line of communication seems to be broken in some part of our operation. And that really, I don't really like to say that, to say that, but it's true. There's some breakdown of communications on things that happen here. I will not mention about the latest issue with GACS, and it looked like that's one good example where some very major major lack of communication had happened in our campus. And we're going to be answering to that in a few days or so. So that has to be corrected once and for all. Yeah, Trustee Lou, sorry, go ahead, please.
I am very concerned about that because you should have been notified even when you were at the ceremony. You should have been notified that they are on site to be visited. And while the chain of command is there, you ultimately, as the CEO, needs to be informed of everything that is happening on campus.
Right away.
And
right away.
there's no excuse. No excuse at all.
Actually held a meeting right after, and then Monday, because I really contemplated on it, and I said I have to be clear with both Mr. Magnus and Miss H.A. I know that I was not present that time. So that Monday morning, I called for a meeting because we usually have our Monday meetings, and I reiterated that things like that you have to inform me. And that's when he was saying that the chain of command is there and you're both not here. I said you were able to inform Miss H.A. Friday, so why weren't you able to inform me when we had a meeting?
Yes, but realistically, when we look at the chain of command, that the principal then should have notified you. See what I mean?
So she actually notified me by passingly only, and that's why my concern. I have a problem with this, or I have a high concern on this, and I was very direct to both of them because I said it's not just because you have to go through Miss H.A., but it's not because I'm the CEO. I am the programs coordinator and I handle all the equipment and the funding. So I said, regardless of who your supervisor is, I need to know, because even before as a CEO, I'm the one who handles the equipment, the inventory, and all federal funds. My signature that is on there. So I hope you respect that goes first, other than the fact that and
Miss Ann?
very apologetic.
Yeah. Miss Ann, if I may, you are, for the record, the federal administrator, federal representative for our school. Case closed. Yeah.
What is that, Trustee Al? We didn't get you. You were buzzing on your
No, I said you represent, because she was the one from the beginning, the federal grants. So you are focused as the representative for the federal grants for the federal minister for GACs. Case closed.
And actually, they didn't find, I don't know, thank God Ms. Kim is here. So she was able to pull out probably some of the required information. Were you able to help when they come in, or you didn't know to? Oh boy.
Assist them, and they just went to the containers and then the cafeteria to see the ACs and the benches there, and they took.
Oh, just the spot check, right? A spot audit. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
So it's basically like GDOE inventory, ma'am. It's random checking if the equipment,
random,
the
Spot checking.
yes. If they're
it's an
here, if
auditor's
it's
work, so
present,
we can,
and if it's in the right location that I specified, because all the equipment has to be on campus, and make sure that if we specified it's in the cafeteria, it's in the cafeteria. If we said that it's in a certain building E, it's building E. And good thing we're ready, even before
Kudos to you guys when you work on that one with it's a marathon, getting everything organized, clean up, and facing all the employees.
What is this?
So you can
If I may, we would have heard something. We would have heard something already.
yeah. Well, Mr. Tarsial knows the protocol when they come in and do a spot check on those things. We better be ready. But we're ready, thank goodness. But it's just the proper the communications channel doesn't seem to be okay. It's like there's a breakdown there.
But Mr. Mahmas was very apologetic, ma'am. Just to let you all know. And moving forward, he knows already. I made myself clear that things like that. He's just overwhelmed.
Okay, let's move on now. Functional chart.
Yes.
In our work sessions, we took on to this one, and
we
as the HR chair,
I think Miss is trying to talk, but she's on mute.
Trustee Lou, you're on mute. Couldn't hear you.
You're on mute.
I need to go home and sleep.
Oh my gosh. Then you're
It's
gonna be
okay. It's
burned. Oh
six
my
o'clock in the
goodness.
morning. I'll sleep on the plane.
Are you going to Japan?
No. no, I-
Miss Lou, can you unmute yourself?
She said no. She's not
You just have to
unmuting.
press. I think it's my mistake.
There.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
Can you make it clear to your team whether or not you are on campus? Any officials that come to GAGs, you must be notified.
Yeah, must be notified.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have another fear. You leave tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
in the
she's
morning.
leaving tomorrow, and look at, we're still here.
I had the mayor's council at 10. I have 11 o'clock with Jackie Terlahi. I didn't leave there until 1 o'clock.
Wow. So did everything come out okay with Jackie?
Yeah. Wait. I'll talk later. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, okay.
Now
We
Miss Anne
we
is on
can't-
mute.
And you're on mute.
It's my turn, Miss Lou. So the
Okay,
functional
let's go,
chart is
let's go.
already done. We just have to change the word for IT specialist or security specialist to computer computer IT to just to change the general. Yeah.
Okay, because if you put that position, you will be really required to pay anywhere from a starting salary of 50,000 and up. So I don't think that's what we're looking for. Although I desire to have one like that, but not on the money. So let's correct it accordingly. So it should be computer.
IT coordinator most likely,
Okay.
since we have that position anyway. We'll just
Yeah.
make sure that the job description is aligned and we
Yeah, and also inclusive with other work that we need for them to do, which is not much. You see, that's why bottom line is you don't need to have that high polluting job when it's not going to perform the big majority of the high paying side, because there's always that job that needs to be done as far as like the minor or not the too sensitive part of the computer operation of the school. So
Yes.
thank you, Anne, for preparing this. So there's all the changes that we need to have on your functional chart and your job description. Any question from the trustees? Because we had a work session and we need just to accept this today and need a motion to accept the new functional chart and job description with correction on the IT
IT.
position.
Yeah.
So moved.
Read as what? IT
The
coordinator.
organizational chart.
yes, ma'am.
Coordinator, okay. A motion was, motion on the floor from Trustee Urquiza. I need a second, please.
I'll second it, Madam Chair.
Second by Trustee Tenatongo. Any discussion, trustees, on the
Make sure we
position?
correct that.
IT coordinator.
No.
Okay, vote please.
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Lu,
Aye.
Trustee Urquiza, Trustee Akiza?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Senator Tongo, yes. Fayo Valley. The ayes have it. Thank you. We have now fully adopted the functional chart and job description with revision on the position of the IT something to
IT has to be changed.
Security
right?
specialist.
IT coordinator.
coordinator.
Yeah, IT coordinator, two IT coordinator. Okay, thank you.
Next would be the salary scale and matrix, which we had a work session on and that you approved. But I just wanted to clarify too that the one we focused on are for the teachers.
Yes.
I've not yet done the support staff, although I have already for the TAs. We just wanted to focus on the teachers because this is the time that we need for them to know already where they stand so that they can, it's additional motivation for them to return this coming school year. So although I know that it would be better and better to have an adoption for the salary matrix, including the support staff, as recommended by Ms. Badet. My justification, if you would allow us to just, if you can just approve to adopt, just at least to specify in the resolution that this is for the teachers for now. Since those are the numbers that we have, you have reviewed and talked about.
But what is your timeline? What is your timeline in terms of the support staff?
Yeah.
I don't want them to be left out either.
Yes, as soon as I come back,
Support staff.
because I
Okay.
already started it, but
Okay.
I already have the scale, but the second step is like pulling out their records or their jackets and to make sure if they belong in the recommended scale,
Yeah.
Okay.
so that we
Because
can have again a dollar figure of how much we have to how much increments it would cost us.
Okay, also on that note, you know that in the past there were people on the support staff that were evaluated and some were not evaluated even past their 90 days and 1 year. So we're now correcting that and putting everything in place for evaluations and proper increments that needs to be paid to this support staff.
Yes.
Have to
Madam Chair, I had met with Jamie to please ensure that all the evaluations that are long overdue are addressed as soon as
Yes.
possible. Because the employees really need to know what their evaluation looks like, what their strengths are, and where they need to improve.
yes.
And it's very
Yeah.
important to address that in terms of granting or denying their salary increment.
Yes.
Yes, so that's basically what Jamie and I think Miss Ann did before she left. So that is now getting corrected because, as I said, there's some kind of major disparity that happened in the past. So people were incremented money that we don't even have evaluations on file, etc., etc. So that's now being cleared and cleaned up. So the only thing that we need to adopt today is the teacher salary according to the formula that we have approved. I think it's on a 5% increment on the different salary scale level. Am I correct, Ms. Ann? So we need to pass you need to pass that as an accepted new salary scale for the faculty in today's meeting, according to the incremented 5% computation of the different levels of their time with GACs or time, the different what do you call this, the level 2, 3, 4 positions according to the matrix that was created. But it's not a generous percentage. I think we took like a national and a national sort of like competition in adopting this. So it's not going to break the bank. It's going to reward and it's going to make our teachers a little bit happy, and we'll look forward to staying with us because we have now projected not pegging it on a 45,000 mark after 20 years, but we have kind of like given them a little bit more incentive and a little bit more different, a different competition for the years to come. So thank you, Miss Anne, again, and Miss Badette for working that out, and Miss Jamie. Thank you for all your effort.
Madam Faye, can I just add on to the voting for the adoption, not only for the different levels of the teacher status according to their credentials, but an experience also, but can you please vote on, because I mentioned that if it's retroactive either on October 1st or October 2022, or for some faculty on January 2022.
Which one do you recommend?
Actually, it's both. It's both, but it depends on retroactive for those who did not get increments in January during Dr. Wan's time. So there are a handful of employees who did not get any increment. So my recommendation was for them to get retro pay effective October, which is the beginning of the fiscal year that
That's
we are
correct.
currently on.
2021.
That's
Yes.
correct.
And because
However,
who received increment in January during the adoption of the pay scale created by former CEO, they're retro on January, the week. And we already, Ms. Badet and I already
The numbers.
identify the exact pay period ending so that it would be
but only I would caution you in doing that unless we have their evaluation in place that actually identifies that they will be entitled to the increment. We have to have the evaluation. We can't just grant them
Okay, for now we're not.
without the justification.
Justin, we're not identifying personnel right now. We're just trying to approving the salary scale as the new matrix, as it is put together by the finance staff.
I understand that, Madam Faye, but to make that, to effectuate that, we've got to have their evaluations, please,
Sure.
to justify the salary increment. That's all I'm saying.
That has to happen because if you are not deserving of the new
That's true.
increment,
Absolutely.
from step 2
Absolutely.
to step 3 without evaluation, then you're never going to get the new scale, the new matrix. So motion on the floor, please, on adoption of the new salary matrix for the teachers and counselors. Effective. Okay.
I move.
The salary provisions will be effective another time. But we just want to be able to approve the matrix to be utilized for this, subject to the evaluation of personnel, and of course, the funds already been approved with this one. That's identified. So, resolution to adopt this.
And the implementation.
And implementation date. Okay, motion, go ahead.
I so that we approve the new pay scale for teachers and counselors, right?
Yes.
Teachers and counselors.
I second that.
Subject
With the
to
considerations
evaluation
of-
the employees.
Right. To pay in their individual baggage.
Yes, that will happen. We will not going to be able to move them from point 1 to point 2 until we see the evaluation. We're just trying to work on a sensible and fair matrix for our teachers, just so they can look forward. Okay, I'm 2. How do I go to 3? Of course, the evaluation have to kick in. Performance appraisals need to kick in, and the funding source, etc. So.
Madam Faye, if you
go
may
ahead.
allow me just for clarification, because I think we're a little bit, we merge both horizontal and vertical movement. So the basis on the retroactive pay is based on every teacher's not requirements, but their qualifications. So because we created a different level, we had to pick out and analyze like really and make sure, did you graduate, did you have a master's degree, show your proof. We're not giving them the increment and put them in a teacher level 2B if there's no backup on their qualifications. So the increment is not based on the evaluation this year, but it's based on the qualifications that they had in their jackets for the longest time that we never looked into. So I'm requesting that you approve also the retro pay either for both, depending on the employees, for October and January, because we really looked into their qualifications. They won't be on teacher B or teacher C, which is higher, without the proof and documentation that they have qualifications. Although I'm taking note that the evaluation basically is for next year or in their anniversary.
Let me stop you. It's okay. I understand. The motion is only to adopt your matrix. I do not want to go into the nitty-gritty of the adoption. That will have to be an internal policy where we have to do this. You have to have a master, blah, blah, blah. For now, I just need to pass the matrix.
Okay, ma'am. Agree.
Can we just go ahead and have the motion to pass the
I already
matrix?
did, and
Seconded by
I already
trustee.
seconded.
Vote, please.
I.
Thank you. Trustee
Aye.
Abelard? Trustee Lu?
Yes.
Thank you, Trustee.
Yes.
Ovales. Okay, the ayes have it. Thank you. Let's go to the next discussion.
His employee evaluation, that's the note that we're having, Ms. Blue, that for moving forward, every year there should be evaluation and it must be in there.
That's gonna be more for like our personal policies moving forward, right? Because
Yes,
now
ma'am.
that's not stipulated. So that's another part of the meeting that we need to make sure that it's incorporated in our personal policies. How do you move from step 1 to step 2? So those are considerations that we need to talk about in a separate thing. We need to put all our facts together and our strategy and our way and our criteria on how to implement that. Okay, so it will be there. Even if we all leave this office, that they have something to follow. Right now, that's
We need more action. We're just now
Yes.
approving the scale.
okay. Next agenda, please. I need to sleep.
SOP review.
I need to have my Father's Day dinner with my husband. Thank you very much. Okay.
This has been mentioned, ma'am. The SOP review is ongoing, and we prioritize the recommendation of rolling over the sick leave of the faculty.
Okay,
I
hopefully we
already
can
have.
get that finalized when Trustee Lu and I come back, because as you work that, you can shoot us email on that, but I think it's best if the panel, the whole panel of the trustees would be on that together on an HR committee meeting.
Yeah.
And fully adopt it and go through it and make all the adoption that we need in all fairness and in all sensitivity to the budget issue. We need to be able to put that all together once and for all.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So another work session for that, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. You know mine,
Yes.
So,
Okay. So,
Old
yeah, because
business.
that is not contained here. Employee, faculty, this is gotta go on another adoption and another discussion. That will be on an HR committee chair meeting on one day.
we're only approving the salary matrix.
Yeah. Okay, vacant position, old business, HR chair.
Current vacant positions would be the CRT, SPED teacher, elementary teacher, and counselor, because our elementary counselor, although she has not turned in her resignation, already gave us heads up that she might be leaving after the summer.
I like this. From now on, this is what you should give us. New hire, retirees, new vacancies and stuff like that. So the HR chair will be abreast of, what's happening on the HR part, right? because we don't want to see your PARs 1 month thereafter when people have quit, and because once you have an emergency, once you have a vacancy, make sure we will be able to get our replacement immediately. We cannot be waiting
Yeah.
2 months, right?
That's right.
So we need to get this out, advertised, and on top of it all, and then you can report this on the next session that the CRT teacher and SPED teacher hired is so and so. Hopefully the PAR will be signed before you guys do come back for the next board meeting on this. But this is the kind of reporting that we need to know. Are these advertised already?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they're advertised.
Thank you, Miss Jamie. See,
What is the turnaround time when the resignation form is submitted? What is the turnaround time in posting the vacant position?
Ma'am, with the past ones, because we already 99% that they already informed us that they will resign. I asked Miss Jamie to post to prepare the announcement right away, and we publish it right away.
And along with this, HR Chair, just to let you know, Miss Anne and Miss Jamie is already starting to put together a position description, or what do you call that? Job descriptions in all of this, because in the past we've been able to create positions without job descriptions. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult to do evaluation, and we went for so long without all those major information, and now they're trying to put this together. So it would be really nice and maybe hunky dory at the end when we try to get a counselor and know what the expectation of his or her job. So kudos to you guys, Miss Jamie and Miss Anne. Let's get that. It's not busy classrooms right now, but maybe we can put this all together during the summer and get this adopted pretty soon.
I know. Really.
Any question from the trustees? None? Is Dr. Hendrick, is Dr. Havelock disappeared? Oh, there he is. You went bathroom break, huh?
No.
Okay,
My
finance
battery is
chair.
getting low.
Finance chair can take it away. Budget call again. Thank you, Ms. Badet. You always remember that is the language that you learned from me. Budget call 2023 needs to kick in. All your first line supervisors have to submit to you their wish list for 2023 budget. Okay, because that's how, especially from the CEO, coming from the CEO, you guys have to do this budget call every beginning of the budget year.
We still haven't received 104.
No, we have not even. No, not
It's okay, don't discuss that. That's gonna come. That's gonna come. We're already under pressure. We already assured by DOA that it's coming our way.
Okay.
Okay, budget call. What's happening? Are all the division heads or those main people that needs to be involved with this?
For the FY23, we just heard that it's approved, right? Miss Rosie, take the floor.
Already the two key people said that they will continue with the 7,500 per student.
Okay, wait. Budget call 23. This is already done. I'm talking about budget call 24. 23 is already your budget that you're going to be using for 23, 24. I'm talking 24, 25. So when so you need to, this new money will kick in September, right?
Right.
Yeah, this 23 money will kick in September. Okay, so you don't call this a budget call. The budget call is when you are just preparing the budget, okay, but you're already done. So this is so the budget is not out.
Is now coming into play.
The budget is not out, and I remember Trustee Lou was saying, why can they not provision additional money for the teacher? But I guess the word that they said is bring it up at 75 and take the money from there.
Correct.
But we are at what, 7,160 per pupil?
7,002.
7,000.
Oh, 6,500.
6,000. So it's $1,000 up, right? And still at 740. And still at 740. Yeah. And so there's was $1,000 more on our budget.
At 765. 6,200 and 765.
Okay, so the original per pupil cost is how much?
6,500.
6,150?
Yes.
6,500.
6,150.
No, 6,200.
6,500.
6,200, just $50 more. Ano ba na yan? So
6,000.
So 6,250. So now they're saying we're gonna do it at 7,500. What's the difference between 7,500 and
900, ma'am.
6,250?
900.
1,300.
1,300 times 765. How much is that? So that's what you're gonna work on for your personal cost. Is that enough?
Yes, definitely, ma'am. That's already in the.
995. Okay, okay. Trustee Ala, you're listening. We have 900 some dollar from the overall, from what was budgeted. So you can throw that in on personal cost according to the legislature. Okay, I hope that happens. Cross our fingers.
Well, Mr. Joe San Augustine said as long as Selena Nelson doesn't make any changes, and Selena assured me already.
Her 20 tickets for
I know, really.
I gave some to
Mark, you don't
Mark. I give Mark, this is 10 for you and 10 for the outsiders.
You want to,
Okay,
right?
guys, you guys better go there, okay? Anyway, so that's it. We have, we will have to wait for the council's transmittal of our budget as approved by the legislature.
Yeah.
Okay, and then 104,000, we haven't heard from that as well, this prior year obligation.
Yeah.
Proposed plan for the new campus.
The 93 we just received now.
Oh, you just received?
The last one, which includes the.
Okay, but you know, what's the timeline from allotment? When you submitted today, how,
1 week.
in one, right? Very, very good. Thank you very much.
So this is the last one. We're still
Okay.
waiting for the 104.
We're gonna be closing budget year 2023 by August, right? Can you do a projection to the trustees on how much are gonna be?
September,
Whatever.
September 30th,
September 30th.
Want to make sure that,
October 1st.
make
not
sure
August,
all the fundings, right?
30th.
Carryover? Do we,
No, there's no carryover.
there's nothing, we were gonna use up all our money, so there's nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the plan, ma'am. To make
That's the plan, is
to
utilize
utilize
all of
it.
those to the penny.
I requested to utilize because it.
Added.
Why do I have the Cortec GFD report again? We were, guys, back here, we just extended,
It's
we
already
just
done.
discussed that.
It's already done, yeah.
Okay, FY 22 audit, where are we there? Where are we? We already have the engagement, right?
No, the FY 22, I need to do RFP.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just putting this on full business.
Oh, that's right, you put RFP already, okay.
Okay, in the light of all this RFP coming out, there was a suggestion, we finally fill in your procurement officer. I really need that. As we get busy, trustees, as you know, as we build our new campus, we really need somebody who's on top of the procurement, because these two people will not be able to do it, okay? So that procurement officer needs to be announced.
Yes.
Okay, and you need to announce a procurement officer.
But we need to announce.
Okay, the FY, so you have two RFPs that need to go, the audit and the food vendor. So do we need to communicate with OPA and this, trustee Al, regarding the RFP for audit?
Yeah, they were the ones to.
No, I don't think so. As long as, according to Dan, we have three quotations. We don't want to give the appearance that we're selective, but we just want to get three price. That's it, and we select. OP has no bearing. Yeah.
And then the food vendors, you guys kind of like have to put it together, okay? Thank you, trustees. Any questions on the finance chair report?
None.
Okay. FY 22 budget appropriation balance, we have.
We have, because we already received the 93,000 today, so the balance that we still have is 2.2 million. We still have to,
Wait, what is now? July? August? They have 2 million to spend until the end of the fiscal year.
PG-head is only 2 more months.
Because of all the ARP stuff and everything that we are.
Yes,
We're gonna-
exactly.
we're gonna
Okay,
use it all
okay.
So,
Everybody heard that? End of the fiscal year or whatever, we will be ending with 2.2 million.
Only have 3 more months to go.
Okay, Miss Anne, can you make sure take care of that balance? You guys take care of that, so it doesn't get
That's the reason
encumbered.
why we need to do this.
Please make
Yes.
sure that you encumber it accordingly. Thank you so much.
This is what we can
Audit Chair, you have anything to report?
No, nothing. No news. No bad news. It's quiet. Yeah.
Thank you, Audit Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Can I briefly call for the second session regarding the meeting with the legal counsel today? Real quick. And executive session. Can I call for a brief executive session today with the legal
Yes, ma'am.
counsel meeting? I have a legal counsel meeting from 11 to almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Let me know when you're gonna start. Tell them that I made them their own business card
And Trustee Lou, I got your business card,
manually.
so you can give it to the council during the council meeting. Miss Anne, you got your business card. I shall be carrying this, sell it to $1 each. Make sure you have your money.
So,
Can it be 25 cents, ma'am?
No, $1 each.
that's perfect, huh?
Because you're gonna go business class.
Only if it's laminated.
This is better than the one I got from Cup Express. I have to pay my own at Cup Express. Can you print everything? Can you print all the trustee sum? At least 25 each? For heaven's sake, we've been sitting here.
Instead of a whole one.
This is rush. That's why I rush it.
But can you make sure you have complimentary copies for the other trustees?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, can we rise out of the regular board meeting and go to the executive session, real brief, 20 minutes of your time? Because I already have a headache. Motion to move from regular session to executive by trustee Tonga. I need a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you, trustee Avlak. Okay, everybody out.
Give me just